Sports journalist Shayo will be with me in the studio. Hello, Shayo. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Right. It was really a disappointing outing yesterday for the Chan Eagles, as we call them. Yeah. What really went wrong?
What went wrong? If they won, we probably will be analyzing something else. I think the hungry of the two teams actually took the victory. That's the best we can say. But besides that, we definitely knew that the Ghanaians in the group phase had qualified. And so many people were saying, oh, there won't be an accord because of the rivalry and all that. But we can see that when it mattered most, they turned the heat on, and the Chan Eagles could not withstand it. So it was about who was hungrier and who was more determined in the two sides. Like you pointed out in the report, it was a scintillating performance. We were playing catch-up all 90 minutes, and the scoreline actually reflected that. 4-1, very emphatic, and it goes to show that the Ghanaians definitely had something all the way throughout the tournament. We were just barely, fighting through. Even Benin Republic, after the 2-0 win over Ghana in the final group phase game, I thought we were going to, take it a notch higher against the Squirrels of Benin Republic, but we didn't do that, unfortunately. Just 1-0, which was a warning signal for us to actually say that this team still needs a lot of work in there.
Well, the Eagles' spectacular collapse in the final was really astonishing, considering they hadn't considered a single goal going into the final. And
they considered all the goals. They should have considered all the way. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But then we should look at the quality of performance. When you don't score and they don't score, you beautiful. But the quality of performance all through the tournament was a cause for concern. Right up until, like I said, right up until that final group phase game. After the 2-0 win, I thought, like I said, Benin Republic game would have been an easy ride, but it didn't turn out like that. And I was very, very skeptical going into the finals, knowing how the Ghanaians were going to play. They had the 13th man, to 12th man, which was the fans, and all that came to bear in that final game. So it was about, there's still a lot of work, basically, to be done with the Chan team, especially going into the Chan proper in January.
Well, I was going to say that next up for this team now is the Chan tournament in January. What lessons have they learned or should be taken from this Waffle Cup? It was supposed to be a preparatory tournament for the Chan tournament. Yeah. What lessons would you say they have learned from this competition? Of course, there won't be Ghana there.
Well, there won't be Ghana, but the rest of Africa would be a cause for concern. Lessons from this would be take your chances. Let's not forget, even for some of the games before the 2-0 win over Ghana, even the Benin Republic game, chances are created, but we're not taking them. So maybe there's still a need for the coaching crew to look into the league. Maybe there's still a few scorers to call up. Of course, Tony Okpotu, fantastic guy, had a brilliant season for the just concluded MPFL season, but maybe they need to work more about being clinical. That's always been the worry with the Nigerian team in recent times, even the A team, the main Super Eagles. And I'm hoping that if they take their chances, I think we're good to go. They can withstand the battles that can come their way. Not all games will be like yesterday. Let's not also take away the fact that it may just be a bad day in the office for them yesterday. But not all games will be like yesterday's game against Ghana, and not all games would be that difficult. But when we get our chances also, let's take them, and we can push anything, any team to the limit.
And one positive we should take away from the game, from the tournament proper, is the fact that Ikechukwu Ezenwa emerged as the best goalkeeper of that tournament, despite conceding 4 in the final.
Yes, and I think he keeps topping his performance per time. This may be a dent for those who want to criticize him, but when you look at the tournament, he kept topping his performance, and you can backtrack to the qualifiers, the Chan qualifiers, his performance with the World Cup qualifiers where he got the chance, and now this tournament. So it can only get better for him, and it's good to have been named the goalkeeper of the tournament, and that's a huge plus.
All right, for Coach Salisu Yusuf now, should he, bring in new players or add new players to this squad, or stick with the current, bunch he's taking to Waffle for the Chan tournament?
That's not. I don't think we can negotiate that. It needs to actually look inward. There's still quality players in the league that can be added to this bunch. The guys are good, but based on the fact that it's not the West African region we're coming up against. When it comes to the Chan tournament, it's the whole of Africa. The North Africans will be there. The South Africans will be there. The East Africans will be there. We need to actually look inward and prepare. Let the preparation start from when they get back. And that means open camp with more players added to these guys. You don't need to throw everyone away. Added to these guys. And from there, we can start to chop and change until we build a formidable side going into the CHAN tournament.
Well, even though they would have been a fantastic addition to the squad.
We definitely missed him. Definitely missed him.
All right, so away from the UEFA Cup, now to the Premier League, where Crystal Palace remain the only side in Europe's top 5 leagues yet to score this season, as Manchester City is to a routing 5-0 victory at the Etihad Stadium on Saturday. A brilliant hat-trick from Alvaro Morata also helped Chelsea to a dominant 4-0 win over Stoke City, as the champions extended their away win record this season, and Romelu Lukaku scored his 6th Premier League goal of the season to give Manchester United a hard-fought 1-0 victory at Southampton. Let's enjoy some of those highlights for you, and we'll be right back.
Silva spotted the run of Sané, who might keep going and does. Aguero, De Bruyne keeps it moving to Sané. Has Sterling in the middle. There he is, 2-0. De Bruyne saw the run of Aguero. Here he is, and there it is for Sterling. Sané, over it goes. Aguero gets his goal. Of course he does. He always does these days. There's no stopping.
Looking long for Morata, his countryman, and he's onside. First real chance of the game, and Morata sticks it away. Oh, that's a giveaway. Straight to Pedro. Saved by Johnson. Morata takes on Fletcher. He'll beat him for pace. Fabregas.
Well, exciting game, or games of football at the weekend in the English Premier League, and there's only one place to start, and that is Manchester City. Shayo is very much with me in the studio. Shayo, who can stop this City side?
City can stop City. as a team, scary performance. You know, I had to tweet that it doesn't seem like they're noisy neighbors anymore, especially for the Manchester United fans. Cause for worry when a team is running riot and different players are giving a good shift in terms of goals, not only even general performance. If you play a game and Raheem Sterling is getting a brace, it's a cause for worry for your opponent.
And Gabriel Jesus is on the bench.
Jesus is on the bench. You know, that's a cause for worry.
Guardiola has embarrassment of talent.
Embarrassment of talent, abundant talent in his hands. And like I said, it's only City that can stop City. So it could be injuries, it could be them not just showing up. You know, those kind of games that could be a clog in the wheel. When you lose it, you now have a very long run of losses and all that. But as it is now, looking at the City side, they're good to go in the league, and really scary fixtures ahead for their opponents.
Well, Pep Guardiola said he wanted more, but I'm asking, what more can you want as a manager? They became the first side to score 5 or more goals in 3 consecutive Premier League games, and yet he said he wanted more.
And that's what I'm saying. Just when Manchester United fans were bragging about scoring 4 goals at home, they are topping that with whether home or away. We don't even care. We're giving the goals. What does he want more? Maybe at the back. Let's not forget, before they started scoring, Crystal Palace actually held them well in the first half. Loftus-Cheek, if he had been more clinical, probably would have gotten 2 goals in the first half. That's a cause for worry for a manager, because we know that could have tilted the scale of performance in that game. If, let's assume, Crystal Palace had gone 2 goals up in the first half, it wouldn't have been that easy for them to come back and score 5 goals. Maybe they would have won by 3 goals to 2, and that would have kept the manager at the edge of his seat. So maybe that's the more, the angle of the more for him. There's still something that needs to be done at the back, and if he can get that right, I guess City are just good to go.
And to the other half of Manchester, you know, the city of Manchester now, United. It was a case of pragmatism for them against Southampton, wasn't it?
Well, it was where they pragmatic. It was
just win 1-0. You know, whatever the scoreline. It was Jose getting back to his old self.
The only beauty, yes, Jose getting back to his old self, especially when he made the final change and brought in Danny Blind. Everyone knew this was come and close the shop or lock up shop. But then, if it could have tilted anyway, the only consolation for Manchester United fans this season is the fact that this kind of games last season ended in a draw. But this season, they've been able to hold it till the very end. So maybe that would be something to cheer about. But then, if everything goes right, at the end of the day, it comes down to goal difference. So it favors your rivals. Say City, say Chelsea, who are scoring with reckless abandon. They also need to get the goals. When you smell blood, you need to bite. That's what they say about the shark. So that's the case. They had chances created. They didn't take some of them. Some players were selfish. They could have created chance. They were, what's it called? Counter attacks that could have been capitalized on, but they didn't do just that. So They need to actually score more goals.
In the area of support cars that will hurt United this season. And one word before we go on Alvaro Morata. What a way to say goodbye to Diego Costa at the weekend. Hat-trick against stubborn Stoke.
And it's beautiful because it was Costa who actually scored the last hat-trick. Years back. Now he has done that, and just saying that he has arrived, and maybe the cost of the number 9 shirt is finally over.
All right, thank you very much, Shayo Wulabi, for your time on the show this morning.
It was a pleasure being here, Mayo.